So you like the cut from that video?
Yeah, bro.
You want it just like that?
Yeah.
How much you want to take off, you thinking?
Maybe like an inch. Maybe
Okay.
like half an inch to an inch.
As you can see, he has a lot of cowlicks in the front of his hairline. That's no issue. We're gonna work past that. This side was a little more pushback than the other side. So we're gonna start off by picking out his hair and we're gonna trim it down. So I like to work in kind of like 3 trimming categories. The first one's kind of like a rough draft where I'm kind of establishing the shape, kind of like the profile of the head. The second trim is where I'm kind of cross-checking my work. So I'll pick it back out, blow dry it, and then trim it again. And I'll get it to that desired length that the client wants. Now the third trim, it's kind of like a polishing trim. And that's what I did in this video specifically. And I wanted to talk about that. That's kind of like a polishing trim where kind of like the finishing touches, but before you start the haircut. I like to do all my trims before I start the tapers, the fades. I used to not do it like that. I used to do my fades and then trim it, but I feel more happy with myself and more satisfied with my work ethic doing it like this, because you kind of get the hard part out the way instead of dreading it the entire haircut. Because trimming hair, that's usually, I mean, to me, that's the hardest part. Getting it even, whether it's an afro like this or whether it's shear work, whatever it is. I mean, that's the hardest part. The shape up and the fade, I mean, that's easy. But creating that profile, that's the hardest part. But like I said, the polishing part. So right now, we're kind of blow drying it through, and this is the polishing part. I like to do the polishing part with my shears, and this is where I just go through and pick out any curls that are standing up, and I just trim it, just to kind of fit the profile of the head. Now for the taper, we're gonna set our guideline at the very bottom, kind of near the top of his ear, but not quite, a little under that. We're gonna clear out everything under that, and like I said, this is a high taper, so he wants it just like that photo of that video I did a while back. So to achieve that look, we're gonna compress all our guidelines, make them very small, and the highest guard we're really gonna use is just a 3 on his taper areas. That being just because, you know, with afro hair like this, the highest guard you gotta use, in my opinion, is just a 3, like I said. That's it. Maybe even a 4, but you know, if you're skilled, you don't need a 4. You know, that's only with straight hair and stuff. But we're gonna clip over comb anything above a 3. And I like to call this a flush high taper because it's compressed. It's kind of like a mid taper, just with no C-cups. So we're gonna make it nice and flush, nice and smooth, clean transition. And I don't get to talk about it a lot, but I really love the YouTube space and I appreciate all of y'all. TikTok and Instagram, it's cool, it's not really my thing. I just do it for the clientele, for the exposure. But YouTube, that's just where I got started at. That's my roots. I love every day posting a YouTube video. I love it. I love the game, I love the grind. I just love it. It's amazing. Even with all the algorithm changes, the community changes, I still love it. YouTube is just amazing. So for the back, I'm gonna establish that shape with a lot of clip over combing. And I'm gonna make my guidelines pretty thick back here, just because the back didn't really have a set structure to it, no foundation. It was kind of just a clump of hair. And I don't want it to look like a mullet, so I'm gonna make this back taper nice and high and noticeable. And yeah, it's gonna come out dope. We're gonna erase that bottom guideline. As you can see, I'm using my A lot of people say these are the Lakers clippers or trimmers. I mean, I love the colors, but I had to add that orange, so it's technically not a Lakers, because Lakers don't really got orange. They got gold, yellow, purple, and gold. So around the ear, we're gonna kind of trim the area, but still keep it dense so the shape up is noticeable. And we're gonna make this area nice and crispy. Now, something I see a lot of barbers say is like, what you do to the one side, you do to the other. I don't agree with that at all. Everything's different, every side's different. Sometimes I'm cutting a white guy, and on one side I'll do sheer over comb, the other side, the hair may lay a bit more stubborn, so I'll do clipper over comb, or vice versa. So, work on developing your eye first. You know, barbering is just about having an eye for something. You know, I see a lot of, and I'm not knocking anyone with a product like this, but I see a lot of combs, like the measurement combs. That's cool and all, but that's really for beginner barbers, in my opinion. When you really have an eye for it, you don't really need to measure things, because you can measure a lineup and it could still come out uneven. You know, hairlines aren't about having straight lines, it's about having symmetrical lines. Don't let that go over your head. Symmetrical doesn't mean straight, it just means even. At least that's my definition. But as you can see, his hairline was a little tricky. He had a few cowlicks, so I started in the middle and I worked my way to the right side. We're gonna come back over to the left side and work our way all the way to his corners. Making sure, like I said, it's nice and balanced. That's the key. Balance. Symmetry. Balance. After our line setting, we're gonna add some enhancements. I'm gonna go a little heavy towards the middle, just to kind of match up with the rest of his hair. The cowlicks kind of make his hair grow backwards, so it's kind of like a patch missing. So we're gonna fill that in a little bit. And shout out to this guy. This is a part of my free cut series. If you guys are interested in getting a free cut, any texture, any style, I'm up for any challenge. He said he's been watching me for a while, so shout out to him, and shout out to him for letting me record. So I know y'all see the taper, just this whole cut is fire. We're gonna dust him off, and this is how he came in. The cowlicks was crazy, but we're gonna get him together. And this is how he's leaving. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. It's your boy 4. Man, it's crispy. I'm out. Peace.